How are you guys doing this morning? Good. All right. So the word of the week is going to come out of Matthew chapter 7, verse 24 is where we're going to start at. When it goes, "Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain comes down, and the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house. Yet it did not fall, because he had its foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on sand. The rain comes down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell with a great crash." All right. So when I was reading this, I was sitting there trying to get really in depth with it, right? Like, what does it mean, the rain? What is Jesus referring to by the rain? What does he mean by the wind, right? What does he mean by the streams are going to rise up? You know, is that like the struggles in our life? What is this stuff? And it might be. But it kind of clicked that, hey, Jesus is talking very simply here, right? He is saying, we all know if you build a house on solid foundation, that's going to be a solid house, right? And when the storms come, it's not going to blow over. And for that, it's a wise move to build a house on a solid foundation. And opposite of that, it's not wise to build a house on sand. Because when the storm comes and stuff, knock over the house, it's almost common sense, right? Saying that if you build a house on sand, that's foolish, right? And how many of us here like to be foolish? Right? I hope no one raises their hand, right? Well, let me tell you something. Me personally, I'm foolish all the time. I'm the kind of guy who would watch the news and see there's a 100% chance of rain, look out the window, and see big ice cubes falling from the sky. And I would look and say, I don't think I need an umbrella, and walk out with that one, right? That's a foolish move on my part. In the same way, I'm foolish every year when we go to Hume Lake Winter Camp. It's a winter camp. It snows up in the mountains. It's freezing there. And I just wear shorts and a T-shirt, no jacket. I don't even pack a jacket, right? And in that way, I'm foolish. And so I'm looking at this, and Jesus is speaking to a crowd. I think Jesus is trying to relate to every single person in that crowd when he says, look, for those people who build houses on a solid foundation, that's wise. And for those who don't, that's foolish. And I'm looking at that because Jesus is trying to relate to everybody. And so then I think, okay, well, now that he's relating to everybody, telling people what's wise and what's not, what is he really speaking to them? What is he saying? And in the verse it says, he's saying those who hear and apply are wise, just like the man building the house on the solid foundation. For those who hear and don't apply, they're the foolish people building the house on the sand, right? And so what kind of, it's pretty simple. And just kind of what stood out to me when I'm reading it is, he says, for those who hear and apply. Jesus doesn't say, for those who hears and memorizes my word. He doesn't say that. He doesn't say, for those who hear and only tells other people about my word. For those who hear and, he's saying, for those who hear and apply, they are wise, right? That's the key. You got to hear it, and what do you do with it? You got to apply it into your life. And so I just ask that, maybe we look at our lives and make sure that we are taking what we hear about Jesus and what he teaches us, and that we are applying it to our lives so that we're not the foolish people building our house on sand. Thank you, guys.